everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is a forecast for Aries in June 2026. Using time passages for the chart and whole house traditional astrology, let's take a look at what June 2026 has in store for you. So June 2026 looks like a month where your emotional instincts become impossible to ignore. This chart is not particularly subtle. You have Saturn, Neptune and Chiron sitting in your first house in Aries. And emotionally, that creates a strange combination of exhaustion, heightened intuition, emotional sensitivity, and deep self-awareness. You are no longer willing to play versions of yourself, just to keep peace with other people. And because of that, June becomes emotionally revealing. Some people will suddenly feel closer to you, others will feel strangely distant. Not because you've changed overnight, but because your energy is becoming more emotionally honest. This month is not about performing confidence, it's about rebuilding it properly. So when we look at the chart, your first house has Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, and Chiron in Aries. So this is important. Saturn in your first house is forcing maturity, so you're becoming more serious about boundaries, health, energy, emotional responsibility. You may physically appear calmer this month, more composed, more selective, but internally Saturn can also make you emotionally tired. You may feel emotionally heavy, more sensitive to criticism, but meanwhile, Neptune in the first house increases intuition enormously. Your nervous system becomes highly sensitive to environments and people. You will instantly feel fake energy, emotional manipulation, hidden resentment, attraction, emotional safety. And Chiron here shows that old identity wounds are resurfacing for healing. So this may involve feeling misunderstood, remembering a past rejection, sensitivity around confidence, or questioning who you really are. But this is not weakness, this is emotional reconstruction. So in the third house, we've got the Sun, Mercury, and Uranus in Gemini. So although I don't really use Uranus interpretively in traditional work, visually we can still see an extremely activated third house. This month becomes mentally busy. So your phone, your inbox, messages, conversations and appointments, errands, communications, they all increase quite dramatically. So you may reconnect with siblings, revisit old conversations, spend more time driving or traveling locally, and you can become a little bit mentally overstimulated. So sort of create more content, communicate professionally more often. For people like content creators, this chart is powerful. Your voice carries weight this month and people will listen more carefully because your communication feels emotionally intelligent rather than performative. So, however, your mind may struggle to switch off. Mercury in Gemini creates racing thoughts. You may replay conversations late at night. Did they mean what they said? Was it what it sounded like? So mental burnout becomes possible if you absorb too much information emotionally. So looking at love and relationships, for single Aries, the most important love energy in this chart comes through Venus in Cancer in the fourth house, Jupiter in Cancer in the fourth house, and the Moon in Sagittarius in the ninth house. You want emotional sincerity now. You are attracted to people who feel emotionally safe rather than emotionally exciting. The strongest dates for meeting someone is the 6th to the 8th of June, the 14th to the 16th of June, and the 24th to the 26th of June. And the meeting energy feels very specific. It's like, it doesn't look like random nightclub energy, sort of partying energy. The chart suggests meeting someone through repeated daily routines, traveling, cafes, through emotionally meaningful conversations. I would say quieter environments. This person may initially appear emotionally calm and intelligent, sort of observant, I'd say slightly guarded, quite well spoken and emotionally mature. You may notice at first voice, an emotional steadiness, a sort of subtle humour, and thoughtful eye contact. And what they notice about you is going to be emotional intensity beneath a calm exterior. They see depth in you very quickly. However, because Venus and Jupiter sit in your fourth house, emotional attachment can deepen rapidly. You may begin imagining emotional security with someone before fully understanding them, so pace yourself. Do not make the mistake of emotional comfort for emotional compatibility immediately. Around June the 18th to the 20th, be especially careful of idealizing someone emotionally, so watch actions consistently. When we look at the coupled Aries, the fourth house, Cancer energy becomes central. This month brings focus to emotional security, home life, private conversations, emotional reassurance, and future planning. Many Aries rising have emotionally important conversations about moving, finances, some emotional distance, family dynamics, or spending more quality time together. There is a softer emotional energy available this month if both people are willing to communicate honestly. So your best reconnection dates are June 7th, 15th, and 25th, and it's excellent for staying home together, emotional conversations late at night, reconnecting physically and emotionally, and discussing long-term goals. However, Saturn in the first can make you emotionally defensive, so you may appear emotionally controlled while internally feeling vulnerable. Do not expect your partner to read your emotional silence perfectly. Say what you need gently. So we look at money and finances. So financially, Jupiter and Venus in your fourth house suggest spending connected to home, comfort, furniture, emotional security, family renovations, or technology for the home. You may suddenly prioritize comfort over status. So this is less about showing off and more about creating emotional peace around your environment. However, Mars in Taurus in the second house can create impulsive spending, especially emotionally reactive spending. You may think, I deserve this after the stress I've been under, but be careful around luxury purchases, emotional online shopping, we all do that, overspending on comforts and lending money emotionally. Still, Mars here also increases motivation to earn more. You may push harder financially because security suddenly matters more emotionally. So career, professionally, the third house, Gemini, activity is very strong. So this is excellent for things like media, YouTube, astrology work, communication, writing, teaching, social media, that kind of thing, a bit of networking. People are paying attention to your words, so especially because Saturn in first gives you authority, you sound experienced this month. Even your quieter observations carry emotional weight. However, the downside is some mental exhaustion. So you may feel a bit overwhelmed, sort by notifications, tired of constantly replying, mentally scattered or emotionally overstimulated. You will need periods of silence this month, otherwise burnout becomes very real in the final week of June. So the moon in Sagittarius in your ninth house. Emotionally, the moon in Sagittarius creates longing for expansion. You may suddenly crave travel, freedom, spiritual meaning, nature, widen horizons. Emotionally, this moon placement dislikes feeling trapped. Some Aries rising may emotionally outgrow people this month, not dramatically. And Aries, your tarot energy for June is the Knight of Wands. So this card mirrors your energy perfectly this month. There's passion returning to you, confidence returning, and movement returning. But the Knight of Wands is also a warning against rushing emotionally just because something feels exciting in the moment. So for singles, this can bring intense attraction very quickly, powerful chemistry, flirtation, late-night conversations, fast emotional momentum. But someone may come into your life suddenly and feel impossible to ignore. So for couples, this card brings back passion to the relationship, but also emotional impatience if deeper feelings are avoided. So the message of the Knight of Wands for June is move forward boldly, but do not outrun your emotional truth. The strongest energy comes when passion and emotional maturity move together. So your lucky dates are June the 6th to the 8th, so that's excellent for love, visibility, communication, emotional clarity and attraction. You've got June the 14th to the 16th, strong social and romantic magnetism. There's powerful for content creation and important conversations. And you've got June 24th to the 26th, which is beautifully emotional, grounding energy around home, healing, relationships and emotional security. Your challenging dates are June the 11th to the 13th, mental overload, too many messages, responsibilities, interruptions, or emotional demands. So avoid snapping emotionally around that time. June the 18th to the 20th, there's romantic confusion and emotional sensitivity peak here. Avoid projecting fears onto situations before fully understanding them. Your lucky color is midnight blue. Midnight blue stabilizes your emotional energy this month. With so much first house emotional sensitivity, the color will help you feel protected, elegant, calm, emotionally centered. So wear it during important conversations, on camera, during dates, or while working creatively. Your lucky crystal for June is blue kaolite. With Saturn, Neptune and Chiron sitting in your first house, Aries Rising needs emotional alignment and energetic clarity this month, so not just protection. So this crystal helps with emotional balance, calming sort of mental overload, honest communication, intuitive clarity, emotional self-control during difficult conversations. This is especially important with your strong third house Gemini energy, creating overthinking, emotionally overstimulation, and constant mental activity. So blue kaolite helps slow the emotional noise down. It's excellent for content creation, difficult conversations, dating, emotional healing, and calming anxiety before public speaking. And visually, it also aligns beautifully with your midnight blue June energy. Your lucky number this month is number 7. It represents emotional wisdom, reflection, and spiritual maturity. This is not a reckless Aries month. This is an emotionally intelligent Aries month, and that is your power now. So the final message for Aries is teaching you that emotional strength is not about surviving everything alone. It's about recognizing what truly deserves your energy. You're becoming more emotionally selective, more intuitive, more self-aware, and although you may feel quieter than your usual energy, it is actually making you far more powerful. The people who truly see you now will matter enormously moving forward. If you've enjoyed this forecast, please like and subscribe so you never miss an astrology forecast or one of my little tarot Lenormand readings. This is Connie J, and thanks for watching.